So here we are, with the first big release heading to the holidays. Does it live up to the hype? I'm Major Tom.
This is Ranger John.
And I'm Warbrain, and this is our review of Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Jensen, you might want to get ready. The jewel of the Yangtze approaches.
Alright, we'll start with the story. It takes place in the year 2027, 25 years before the first Deus Ex game. So if you didn't know, this is a prequel. You take place of Adam Jensen. He's basically in charge of the security for Seraph Industries. A group of mercs ends up breaking into the lab, blowing up everything, killing everybody, and capturing some of the scientists. You get severely wounded and almost end up dying. They basically bring you back to life with augmentations, and you basically become a cyborg. So we'll start off with some of the gameplay. One of the first things that you'll notice is you can play the game however you want. Stealthy or ramble guns blazing. And I know, John, you played the game stealthy through the whole way. How did that end up going for you?
Well, I didn't end up getting the achievement, but I found that being sneaky throughout the game was a lot more rewarding than just running up and assassinating everyone. You get more experience for being sneaky, and you discover a lot of different ways to make it through the levels that you wouldn't have otherwise thought of.
Yeah, I noticed that too, because me, on the other hand, I went guns blazing through everything. You know, and then the enemies are actually pretty intelligent in this game. And like, for instance, I'd set off an alarm, and then the group of enemies would come after me, and say I'd be hiding in the corner, they all just start chucking grenades at me to get me out from cover, or... Though sometimes you're like, maybe I should have went under that vent and gone around them, or... You know, sometimes you just want to go and kill everybody, though.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it gives you the ability to go in guns blazing, but it's not necessarily the easiest
or the
tactic.
best idea, yeah.
Yeah,
And like we said... Go ahead, John.
The game definitely is geared toward being stealthy.
Yeah, I would say so too. There's hidden vents everywhere.
And I mean, how many hits does it take for you to die?
Oh, you get killed pretty instantly on whatever difficulty you're playing.
Yeah.
And like we said, you are basically like a cyborg, and you have these augmentations. And basically, that's what you use to level up and make your character stronger. Like, for instance, you could gain new abilities like cloaking, or you could level your sneak. And it's basically you're just making your different body parts stronger.
Yeah, you're just
you
getting
increase
firmware
your arms,
upgrades.
and you could lift heavier things. And
Yeah, but you can gear them towards how you want to play. So if your focus is on killing people, you're going to upgrade, your strength, or you can punch through walls and assassinate a guy through the wall. But if you're more geared towards hacking, you can level up your hacking, and you'll be able to hack more secure safes and computers.
Yeah, so you'll be less likely to get caught when you're...
Yeah. And that brings us to the downfall augmentations. Basically, you end up getting this battery meter. When the battery meter runs out, you can't use any of these powers. That even includes meleeing somebody.
I don't have a problem with like the more special abilities, like lifting vending machines or something.
Yeah, or cloaking.
If that has to do with or your cloaking, if that has to do with the batteries, that's fine. But if I can't even just like run up to a guy and punch him in the face because I don't have batteries, that's kind of irritating.
Yeah, and then like I noticed a couple times I got screwed because say I was like, oh, I'm gonna go cloak and kill that guy over there. I got up to him, I was out of battery. He just turned around and gunned me, and I was done for.
And that's like something you get so used to playing, like Call of Duty or or really any shooting game nowadays has a melee button. You just get so used to being able to do it whenever you want, whenever you're in a jam or something. But in this, you end up out of batteries, and then you're pretty much screwed.
Yep. And then you think to yourself, so can you get your batteries back? Yes, but only one of them regenerate on their own. To get the rest regenerated, you have to eat these power bars that you find lying around, or you could buy them. But then it seems to me kind of worthless if you want to invest in upgrading your battery bars, because once you use it, it doesn't regenerate anyway. So you might as well just keep the one, or else you got to constantly start eating power bars while you're in the middle of battle if you want to melee more anyways.
Yeah, and about the power bars, I don't understand how the power bars refuel your batteries. I could understand if your arms were overheating, you had to wait for your arms to cool off or something, but they're batteries, and you're eating food to recharge your batteries.
That was kind of weird, I thought, too.
I mean, I still think it's a better situation than like if you had to, say, go around the levels and find batteries. I think that would be worse.
Yeah, that would be, I guess.
Yeah, at least you get the
You would burn through that with melee attacks constantly.
I guess they also didn't want everyone to just go around executing everybody.
Yeah.
And it'd be too easy, I guess. Because it does make the game way more difficult, too. You have to strategically plan all your attacks. Another big thing, like John mentioned a little bit about the hacking, I think whether you're playing the game stealthy or Rambo, hacking is like important throughout the entire game. There's constantly locked doors everywhere and paths you need to get to, and you need the ability to hack. So, in my opinion, you should always be leveling up your hacking ability because you're going to use it throughout the entire game.
Although I only came to that conclusion later, I find my realization disturbing.
So that leads us to let's talk a little about XP and leveling up. You know, you do get XP from killing and, you know, but the cooler thing is you get XP for even, like, exploring and finding new paths. And,
reading the books.
yeah, reading, you know, learning more about the story. You know, hacking, like we said. You could hack it to computer, then read emails and, you know, get experience that way. And then every time you get a level, basically you'll get 1 point you could use on your augmentations. Or you could end up buying augmentations at a store, too. Another big thing in this game is the dialogue, which I would compare to like Mass Effect, where you have like choices while you're talking to somebody, and basically it's like you choose a good or bad, or you know you're trying to side with somebody to get them to tell you something, so you don't want to like piss them off too much. Where he basically says, "Screw you, I'm not telling you anything."
Basically, you're sucking up for the whole conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like they made it kind of easy because they have all the choices there. And you just hover over it, and it tells you exactly what he's going to say. So it's not like you have to guess, and you know, you see right there what you're going to say. Which I didn't like that too much. I thought they should have made it a little bit harder.
Yeah, I kind of like that in Mass Effect where it would tell you, you know, it would give you a line that is the gist of what he's kind of saying, but at least when you press it, you get to hear a line, you know, that's you weren't already knowing what exactly he was going to say.
Yeah, like in Deus Ex, you already read the whole conversation, so it kind of takes the fun out of the conversation.
Yeah, you're not surprised by anything that he says or by him randomly punching somebody in the face. You know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, that basically sums up the gameplay. We're going to talk about a little bit about the graphics, which, in my opinion, were basically top-notch.
Yeah, I had a little bit of issues with the character models and the way that they were kind of animated, but as far as the environments and just
The scenery of everything.
the graphical quality, the lighting and everything, that was still really good. You know, the office buildings looked like how office buildings should look. You know, it was sufficiently populated with stuff. You know, like it had like books and cans and just stuff.
Yeah, like the scenery and environments are just really good in detail. The stuff lying around in offices. And, you know.
Yeah, and I thought the gold color was gonna get to me. That everything was kind of gold and.
Yeah, like the highlighted pattern of where you could go.
Yeah, but it didn't.
Yeah, it kind of like blends in and makes it look good.
Yeah, it felt futuristic.
So that leads to the other problem is the load times, which were pretty long. Not Duke Nukem long, but I would say about half of that.
Yeah, which is still a considerable length, but...
Yeah. And if you do install the game to your hard drive, it does improve it a little bit, but the amount of space it will take up, I don't think it's worth it. Another cool thing is you can save whenever you want throughout the game, so if you're worried about something happening. And then you can reload from your autosave or your second last autosave. So say, and I guess if you get mad about one of your outcomes that happened, you can go back, reload, and try it again.
Or if your autosave happens to be
or you die instantly or something.
Yeah, exactly. You could always go back and
that's why I always hated autosaves, because
you
I remember one time in a Call of Duty game, I got like autosave where like a bomb landed on me, and there was nothing. I had to redo the whole level.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at least it kind of saves you from that kind of a headache, so it gives you a little bit of a little safety net.
So we'll talk about a little bit about the glitches in this game. I personally didn't have any, but I know you came across some, John.
Yeah, one of my side quests, it got glitched at the very end. I had to take out some gang members, and one of the gang members, I guess, floated through the ceiling, and there was no way I could get to him, especially without killing him. I'm sure I could have tossed some grenades, and it might have killed him, but I was doing my no-kills run, so that wasn't really something I wanted to do.
And I know many people have had a couple problems with some of the side quests. Nothing with the main quest, but just the side quest for some reason. I'm sure they'll patch it soon, though.
Especially with how big this game is, it's not going to be that big of an issue with having to wait for the patches, because all the people that are getting the game, they're going to want to get it out.
Yeah, I already heard they're working on a patch for the PC version to help improve the load times already. So they're going to get updates out as soon as they can if there's any problems.
Yeah, if they're doing a patch for just load times, they're going to fix something like NPCs floating through the ceiling.
We'll talk a little about the replay value in this game. It does have 4 different endings, Which you could cheat if you want to see them all, but if you want to actually do legitimately and play the game 4 times, and you choose the different outcomes at the end, you see the different endings. And also, obviously, you could play the game differently than you played the first time.
Yeah. So it's a little more incentive to actually go through the story again to get to the different ending, because you're going to play it in a different
anyways,
way.
Yeah. And then, like, even some of the quests, like, at the end of it, you had the choice to, like, you can either, go arrest that guy, or he's going to bribe you, and you can go take the money. Like a good or evil choice. And you could just choose the different ending choices, and see how that works out,
And you were going to say something, John?
What actually affects your ending, you don't actually make that decision until the last mission. So really what you're doing throughout the game only affects maybe a couple of the side missions or something like that. There's not really a significant change to the ending based on what you do throughout the game.
Yeah, so you can basically be good or evil the whole time if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is enough there, so if you do want to just go back and play through it to get each ending, you can still have fun playing the game over and over again.
You won't feel like you wasted 20 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the achievements a little bit. You got your, easy ones, which are your story related, and, basically completing the missions and your side quests. But then you get down to the hard ones, which, are going to be some work. And one of them involves either playing the entire game without setting off one alarm, or being the entire game without killing anybody.
Those are both hard. Like, I can go stealthy and maybe not trip an alarm, but to not kill somebody...
Yeah, you're going to be, like, tempted the entire
I mean, like,
game
I
to
have,
kill
like,
somebody.
6 guns on me. How am I, like... Why do I not want to kill somebody?
Yeah. So, that's something rewarding, though, that you say you got that, though, you worked hard.
Those are the more rewarding achievements. Each of those is worth 100 gamer score, unlike the side quests, which are like M15.
Which is kind of nice to see, because a lot of games lately seem to just
Beat the
throw...
game and
Yeah, you
almost got
beat the game
everything.
and you get, like, 750 total of the 1,000 gamer score, and then you just get, like, all these ones that are, like, 10 or 20. And even like, Halo had some that were, like, 5 points, and it was, like, some of the hardest achievements in the game.
Yeah.
But you beat it on normal, and you get, like, 100 gamer score.
Yeah. Alright, so we'll talk about the value of this game. Is this game worth $60? In my opinion, it is. What do you guys think?
I think
I would
definitely,
say
yeah.
yes.
It's got tons of replay value. It's not a short game. It's not like one of your 5-6 hour games.
No.
And you have, you can play it multiple times and you won't get bored of it. And hopefully they do a lot of support with it and add a lot of DLC and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a AAA title. It's not something that was just rushed out there. It's, it's not really buggy at all.
No.
Except for, some of the side quests there. So,
And also, if you want to fork out an additional $10, you could get the special edition. This basically comes with, a special case, a making of DVD, and an art book. So if you're a fan of the series, that's cool stuff that you want to own.
yeah. Especially if you're a collector.
Yeah. Alright, well, that would basically wrap up Deus Ex Human Revolution. We got a bunch of reviews coming out for you. There's a ton of games coming out, so look forward to Dead Island, Resistance 3,
Disgaea 4.
and Rise of the Nightmares, which would be a scary game for Kinect, so I want to see how that works out.
Yeah. I'm kind of iffy about that
Yeah.
one. It doesn't sound like it'll work good, but
You never know.
I'm excited.
I've been surprised before, so.
Well, this was Major Tom.
This is Ranger John.
And I'm Warbrain.
Hope you enjoy.